Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today is an episode 103. In today's episode, we are going to dive into the energy of shame, guilt, judgment, while being on a Twin Flame journey. I think many of you have felt a little bit of judged by others if you would share your story with them, or you feel shame in a sense of what you have done on this journey, in a sense of, let's say, you were in a relationship with your partner and you happen to have an affair or something happened in between with your twin, or you are ashamed of how can you love someone else. You shouldn't be loving somebody else on this journey. Somebody who is not maybe loving you back, or somebody who is taken by somebody else. And why do you love them? And why do you, for example, call them twin flames and think that, well, there is something. And my twin felt it too. But is it right? Is it right to love someone I barely know? And is that even real? And then we have a guilt around that I shouldn't be loving someone who doesn't love me back, or I shouldn't be loving someone who is in a relationship with somebody else, or I shouldn't do all of that because it's wrong. Overall, there's a lot of stigma around twin flames, and for a reason, because sometimes the twin flames label is being used in a process of, that is not how I say, I'm not saying right or wrong, there is no such a thing, but maybe it's a little bit in a sense of used when we shouldn't be using it, when it's not a twin flame or not this energy. I'm not the biggest fan of the labels, as you know me. I prefer to talk about the energy, and I prefer to talk about what did you feel and what happened to you. And that's what we spoke about on the last episode about Kundalini awakening. I think all of us can't deny that there was something in between us. And right before I'm going to dive into all of these things, I just want to start with this, that for me, and I know I have been through all of this, but for me it's so strange from the society-wise, and that we tend to say that you shouldn't love someone if they don't love you back, or you shouldn't wait for someone because they are not here and maybe they are not loving you, and you should move on, and you shouldn't have this unconditional love towards yourself and towards others, because love should be mutual. And here is something I disagree. Love is unconditional. Love is not about the same way, for example, I love you, and you might not like me at all or have any energy towards me, but it doesn't mean I don't love you. For me, it's not about you liking me, you agreeing with me, you being in the same views with me. No. For me, it's about you being you and speaking your truth and connecting within you and choosing love. And this is why, for me, it's not so much about that unconditional love means you have to love me too. Okay, but now let's go get into the place that I wasn't always with this understanding. And this is why I'm not here to say to you that you have to think the way I do. When I first came to this journey, all I could think of, and all I could feel of is my twin flame, or so-called twin flame. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of that label. Because I felt something so divine, He awakened something something so divine inside of me. It broke me apart, it did. But he awakened something so magical inside of me. And I felt that he is the reason of my happiness. He is the reason of my love. He is the reason of me being alive. And in certain ways, maybe. But your twin flame, as we say, is always you. And we are all somehow, one or another, we all reflect. And that's why it really, really hurts me somehow when I hear the fact that, no, you shouldn't be loving someone if they don't love you back. You shouldn't be waiting for someone when they don't show you anything. And for me, it's like, it's love. It's a purest and one of the highest frequencies, what you can ever have. Meanwhile, guilt, shame, and judgment are one of the lowest frequencies you can ever connect with. And that's why I want to talk about it, that having the guilt and shame and judgment around this journey. There's a lot of judgment around this journey. Number one, you can't really tell that to anybody. Can't say to somebody that, listen, I met this person. I had such a strong connection. I don't know what it is, but I can't get this person out of my mind. I can't get rid of this person. It's there. And everything around me is different from that moment I met this person. It's no longer the same. And then you would hear the answer, yes, but you see, this person is not replying to you. This person is not talking to you. This person is not there. Move on. I always say that we can't control the things from the mind in the sense of moving on. If the energy is there and once your soul is awakened, you need to surrender into that, what it says. I also want to say that it does not mean, and this is another big problem, or what we're going to do, is that we are going to pause our life in order to wait them to come back, because they're going to come back. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to just do nothing. No, no, no. Your twin awakened you. Now there is a time of turmoil, time of a lot of changes, and sometimes it can take time. It can take 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, believe me. So it will take time. It's an unbreakable bond. But you need to start now listening to that voice, what it's saying to you. When people ask me, how can I be so peaceful and so connected with my twin on this journey, it's because I have the knowing, and I'm in touch with that knowing of whether the 3D union or how the 3D union or whether not. I just know that. But I know when we are in a state of confusion and we have no one to talk to. And I think that's what makes it, at least that's what made me really hard. That's why I have put it up to talk about this. That's why I offer these calls on my website and connecting with me. Because I felt it really, really difficult to talk this to anybody. Because I knew they will judge me. Because how can I love somebody while I love my husband too? I love my soulmate. I really do. We have an amazing connection together. And then at the same time, I felt, well, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't the real thing. And everything what I was consuming as an information was also telling me that once you have met your twin flame, your marriage is going to fall apart. And it was another thing that I was battling with for me was, but I love my soulmate. I always have. I've never looked at any other man. I never had any interest. And now, within this 45 minutes of car ride, my life turned upside down. Yeah? And that's where the spiral starts in. You're wondering, are you doing the right thing or wrong thing of staying in a marriage or in a relationship? Or you're wondering if it's the right thing that your twin has somebody else and they will never return. And how can you love somebody like this? Doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. And the reason of today's episode is for you to liberate from the guilt and the shame and the judgment and not to stay stuck there. And why? Because these are one of the lowest vibrational energies. And if you keep or shaming yourself, putting a lot of guilt how you should feel and how you shouldn't feel, and you judge yourself and maybe even others, you are staying in a cycle of not manifesting this journey, and you're not going to manifest anything in this journey. Now, and one of the parts of the reason why I make about this episode is, another day I had this comment on YouTube, and I always say, you always leave the comments if you have something to add. It doesn't mean that let's say I agree or disagree. It's never about that. I love your perspective. I love your voice. I love your way of seeing and your growth of this journey. And then I received a message, and I'm not going to really say that, I'm not saying that this person is wrong. Not at all. This person has its own truth. But I want to read this because I believe many of you are feeling it. I just extremely hate the fact that you can justify an extramarital affair or cheating on your partner in the name of twin flame. Please, guys, don't encourage this bullshit ever. If it's a twin flame, don't justify and encourage. If you're that much pure as a soul, the moment you cheat on the vow you took, your soul is a waste. A true pure soul would bear all the agony of the world, but won't hurt another soul. It's a humble request. Don't spoil this beautiful thing called twin flame journey, associating it with cheating and wrongdoings. And don't encourage, please. And in many ways, I totally agree with that. In many ways, I do, and I love this perspective. Because I also want to say that not to make any decisions on this journey while we are in enormous pain. Not to jump from one thing to another while we are on this pain, because we can cause more pain. But now I just would like to clarify, in a sense of, maybe, because I know that we hear what we want to hear and we listen what we want to listen. I happened never to cheat on my husband, nor I had anything physical with my twin. This is even more in the sense of strange when we talk about twin flames, that I knew this person 3.5 hours of my life. 3.5 hours in physical world, I knew my twin. Not more than this. And this, what he awakened inside of me, was completely insane. And it doesn't make sense to the mind. I did not pursue any physical affair or anything intimate with my twin. But those who have, doesn't mean that you have done wrong. And I don't like a judgment. I don't like. God, the universe, the creator, is the one who's going to judge. Because I want to say one thing about what is beautiful about twin flames. These pure souls are the last ones who want to hurt anybody else except themselves. They're willing to suffer. They're willing to stay behind the scenes. They're willing to be there and not to cross the line ever. And I know people who have been on this 20, 30, 40 years on this journey, and they say, I always loved her, or I always loved him. But I knew it doesn't matter because she or he is with somebody else. But I didn't stop loving. And is that fair? This was something a lot I discussed. Is that fair for me to love two men at the same time? Is it? It's not fair. Would I be happy if my husband is with me and loves somebody else at the same time and loves me? But what I realized after going all through that guilt and shame and judgment towards myself of how wrong it is, I realized I don't love that man in a certain way. So back then my mind thought I loved. But this is the love for me. And the moment I started to accept that love, and I really became one with this love, I was able to love others, I was able to connect with others, I was able to feel again. Will twin flames, so-called twin flames, will change your life up? Yeah, they will. But I also want to add here, when it comes to the cheating or something like this, I would say that twin flames are the last people somehow who would cheat on somebody. And if that happens, that happened for a reason. And there was a behind the scene reason. Because I can see daily people who are not awakened. They cheat left and right. They have Tinder here, Instagram here, this and that, these girls, that girls, women, same thing, OnlyFans here and there. And I'm sorry, I'm not here to judge anybody. But to tell that twin flames are the ones who's gonna go and cheat and do like having an affairs, and then they have an excuse that, oh, but we are twin flames. I want to say that the majority of the people I've spoken to are the last ones like that. And now it's the same thing comes to the fact where people would tell you, and we feel shame. It's interesting that we feel shame of loving someone who doesn't love us back. For example, you know that, let's say your twin is not there yet, not loving you. But everybody knows that you are loving this person. And then you feel shame that, oh, how can I love? Everybody knows I love this person. I should stop loving her or him because she doesn't love me back and I look like a fool. I could have somebody else and I could be with somebody else. I'm not saying you cannot. Sometimes the soulmate happens to come to your life and you feel very connected. I know that nobody wants to hear me saying that you can have a soulmate coming to your life until it happens that it comes. And then many of you, I have numerous, I don't know if I get the time today to put this email in, where people have connected to the soulmate and they say, wow, yes, it's not this what I had with my twin in terms of awakening, but there is a lot of understanding. Again, I'm not going to say that this is for everybody, and that's what I spoke about in previous episodes, about that your soul has made an agreement, and you kind of have to respect that agreement, but at the same time you create your reality. And you create your reality by shifting and changing your frequency, your vibration, and your habits. I often sometimes receive emails where people say, nothing has changed in my life. It's a total disaster. Look at me. And my question always would be back, but what have you changed in your life? Has there been a slight difference the way you go to bed or the way you wake up in the morning? Has there been a difference which kind of information you're consuming? Are you still watching porn? Are you still scrolling on social media? Are you still eating food that is in a low vibrational? Again, I'm not here to judge, but what I mean is, if there is a blame and guilt and judgment energy, it's very difficult to attract something different. And another part of this is that many of you, I promised I will put this meditation out there for the knowing when your twin flame returns or when your twin flame arrives. Many of you, when you get the first no or you don't see it, we give up, and then again we feel the shame and the guilt. But I'm just going to say that when we have the shame, and you can talk about your shame in the comments as well, or write on a message and I will share it with others, because I can say, for me, it's a community over here. We share together this. But shame is unfortunately one of the lowest vibrations we can hold. And it resonates around in 20 hertz. So now think about it, that our heart vibration is 369 hertz. And so when you are in a shame, you are in a 20 hertz. And where the shame is normally, where the energy stays. And on our last workshop, where we had the full body activation, and you can hear a very different stories afterwards. I will put it up on a Patreon. You can do the energetic orgasm things and you can see the difference. You can see the difference what people are talking. But shame is often stuck in our solar plexus and in our sacral. And it's all about self-worth, creativity, to manifest anything. So if you have, let's say, digestive issues, or you feel like I cannot get anything done in this world, then it's time to look into your solar and your sacral. Obviously, again, what helps a lot, and that's why we have a lot of sexual energy coming in, a lot of sexual energy during the sessions, while you are in a separation with your twin, is for you to release that shame from your sacral and from your solar. That's why you feel like orgasms here and there, because it's to release that. You shouldn't be ashamed of loving someone unconditionally. That's a #1 rule. There should be no shame around loving someone so purely, so unconditionally, and feeling it all. The second thing is, when it comes to the shame, is to kind of agree that this happened to me. Whether it's a twin flame or not twin flame, or whatever labels we would like to put it on, it happened to you. You fell in love. You felt love. You felt how your body awakened. You felt something so intense inside of you that you couldn't control it. You need to start owning it. Not in a way that you walk around and you put the label in front of your face of saying, I'm twin flame, I'm twin flame, I'm twin flame, and I deserve this, and I am more special because I'm a twin flame. Twin flame energy, so-called twin flame energy, is one of the purest energy without any labels, without any how I am and what I should be and how it is. So it's the second part that you're going to say, but this happened to me. Whether I like it or not, it happened to me. Whether it's right or wrong, but it happened to me. Let's say if you happen to be married, or let's say if you happen to break up with your twin, or your twin is married to somebody else, this happened to you. I don't like and again, that can be very ego-selfish, but I don't like the answer when somebody says, but get over, move on. There are so many other women and men there. Just go date, find somebody else. And some parts of my soul breaks apart. I'm like, you're trying to suppress that love by going and doing something else, finding a medicine for this. Let me tell you what is the medicine. Is to connect within you and to be honest and truthful. I've thought a lot about it, that it would have been so much easier for me to quiet myself and never talk about it, never share about it, never say what happened to me. Because I felt it was wrong of loving someone who I barely know. But today I don't feel like this anymore. And why? Because my twin gave me the most beautiful gift. The most beautiful gift of unconditional love, and awakened me to the point which I didn't even know is possible. Is that end of the journey? No. This journey will continue. But my twin gave me the gift that I am forever thankful. Aligned with my soul. Aligned with my knowing. And again, whether it's right or wrong, doesn't matter. Also another thing here, that when you happen to be, let's say, in a relationship, your twin is coming to remind you, is that everything is okay there? Are you sure that you're feeling love? Are you sure that you are love? Or are you just surviving and existing? We make these contracts here in 3D, and we think that once we have a contract, then that's how it's going to be. Well, let's look at into the world, what's happening. We can make a contract, and then people are fighting over in the courts and fighting over that I want this and you need to do this. Souls, they don't know these contracts. For them, it's about connecting. For them, it's about knowing. And now can I say that, do I justify cheating? No. But do I judge? No. Not at all. I don't like when people lie to themselves. I don't. And I would just say that twin flames are such a pure souls. They are such a pure souls. If they happen to be like we had another beautiful soul who explained why she had the sexual contact with her twin in the previous episodes in the very beginning. She has a book out as well, Magical Breadcrumbs, those who would like to read. And she explained that as well. And I give a lot of credit to everyone who is brave enough to speak their truth. Truth hurts sometimes. But it's beautiful at the same time. So when we move into the guilt is the next one. It is a low vibration. It's about 30 hertz. And where the guilt is remaining is our heart chakra and throat chakra, which means we can't speak our truth. But let me tell you what is the most highest frequency. What is the highest frequency? Authenticity. Love and authenticity are one of the highest frequencies. And when you are in guilt, your heart chakra and throat chakra are in pain. And so you cannot be in the energy of manifestation. You cannot. You don't speak your truth. You're speaking what others want you to tell. You're trying to find a way. And like I said, it would have been so easy for me never share about that. I would have just said no. But then I also know I wouldn't be alive. I just know that. And I had to own my truth. And today again, just to say those who would like to have a call with me or share their story with me, just 2 days ago I had a beautiful session. Of course, this full moon is bringing a lot of energies. A lot of it's in Aries. So it's a fire, it brings out. So those of you who would like to have a call right now, really book it as soon as you can, because I can already see that the calendar is filling up very quickly because of the full moon energy. And the reason I do all of this is to give you the inner peace of you knowing what you know. Because the moment you're going to disconnect from this unconditional love, you're going to disconnect from yourself. Do I say that you're going to be forever in a sense of longing and waiting for your twin and it will never happen? No. In September or now until this time where we are, I have received so many messages where some of you are saying, wow, we are back together. And it became more natural than ever before. And many have said it happened because I wasn't afraid of expressing myself. And at the same time, on the other hand, has become where they say, my twin is not interested in me. I said to my twin, I shared to my twin, and they didn't answer. I spoke about this on my previous episode around, we have to understand that when you've been awakened, it doesn't mean that your twin is going to awaken this lifetime. And we kind of have to make a peace with that as well, because truth is power. But at the end of the day, if you're going to manifest the love into your life, whether it comes through twin flame or whether it comes through soulmate, it comes from the vibration. And just to tell you that, you all might be reading about the manifestation and everything. It can only happen in a higher frequencies. In a lower vibration, when you are in a lower vibration, you're going to attract more of these situations. Now, don't get me wrong here. Life is up and down. Everything is going to happen, and sometimes we feel, wow, how unfair it is that this is happening to me. But that's going to come and teach us something and help us something. And of course, the universe will always test you. Always the universe will test you. I remind you that the moment you think that you are in alignment and union with yourself, the universe will send you a test. Whether it's going to send you your twin flame, whether it's going to show you that your twin flame has no interest on you. And now you look into the mirror and see how you are acting. It's so easy to say that. It's so easy to say things in certain ways. You can say, oh, I have surrendered. I'm fully surrendered. My twin can love me or not love me. That's okay. And then your twin appears to your life. And then you get triggered. Energy is very, very intelligent. The universe is very intelligent. Think about it. The universe is millisecond-wise calculated everything out. Our gravity, the distance from our sun, the distance from the moon. All of this is calculated extremely well. Because if one thing goes out of the calculation, none of us would live here. And it's the same that if you are in the mind that, oh yes, now I feel like this, and you don't speak your truth, how you truly feel, universe will test you. I know that because universe tested me 3 times. I felt, oh, I no longer think of my twin flame. I no longer have feelings for my twin flame. I don't need to have him in my life. And guess what? And then my twin comes to my life. I don't know what to reply anymore. I feel that I'm going to lose my twin. What I should do. How I should act. So just to say that the truth is a very important part. And to really say it. I love this person. I don't know why. Somehow I wish I could stop. But I love this person. And I will always love this person. This is why I will put it out, our last conversation to the podcast, because I found it was quite interesting. Where people can say, yeah, but your twin doesn't love you. Why to say that your twin is loving you when your twin doesn't love you, for example? And here again I could say, but I would be lying. I know my twin loves me. And I think many of you also know that your twin loves you. Deep down you know that they know something. But we cannot get stuck in a 3D element. don't do yourself this punishment that you think my life will only happen when this person is here. And again, why I talk about the shame and the guilt and everything, and why I have created these spaces, is because I struggled with this a lot. But what's going to happen when we are holding these energies? Number one, we're going to have physical problems as well. Anxiety, depression, and why these anxiety and depression are coming. I'm not saying that anxiety and depression are not real, but they come from the fact that you are not authentic towards yourself. You are not speaking the truth as it is. Maybe sometimes you need to love for the rest of your life someone, and that's what it is. That's what it is. But when you start doing like this, no, I don't love this person, I go and sleep with this one, maybe I get over, or I choose this person and I will get over, and maybe you will. But I believe that once you are awakened, what matters to you is the energy and the connection. And this is why I'm saying that not always your twin will return on this lifetime. But if you stop loving and if you start saying this is not real what I'm feeling, you're disconnecting yourself and you start lying to yourself. And that's what can bring up the depression and anxiety, because you are not within you. You get very tired because you are in a constant battle with yourself. Also like digestive problems, chest tightness, headaches. And when we have the shame, guilt, and judgment, you're going to disconnect from your inner guidance and intuition. And that's the moment why I talk about it. From my previous episodes, you have heard that me repeating it over and over and over again, of becoming your higher self. Why my retreats, why my workshops are designed of you to become higher self? It's because you will connect with your inner guidance and intuitions. And when you have a shame and guilt and judgment, and even the shame of being on twin flame journey, it's very true, and you have heard me saying this before, when you feel, oh, I shouldn't be telling to anybody that I'm on this journey. Same here. I don't go around and have a flag around me, or I don't know, written on my forehead of saying, I'm a twin flame, I'm a twin flame. I don't talk about that. But I don't deny the connection I had with this person, so-called twin flame. And I also say that from that moment, a lot changed when I said, well, that's what it is. Whether it's twin flame or we put another quantum couple, quantum energy, quantum jumping, you name it. It will never take away what I felt on that day when I met and what happened. And you can meet your twin online. You can meet your twin, and you can see this with, you can go over to Instagram and see online how the energy travels when we do Kundalini activations. So many of you have said that they're a bit afraid of the Kundalini activation, or only your twin can activate your Kundalini. Yes, your twin was a catalyst who helped to get this dormant energy moving from you. But Kundalini is extremely powerful to get rid of the shame, guilt, and judgment. That's why it activated inside of you. To get rid of that. You felt unconditional love. You felt something so divine, so beautiful. Connect with this. Stay in that love. Love always attracts love. It's not about what others think. It's not about what others say. It's not about how it's supposed to be. It's what happened to you. And I've said that many times when I'm doing meditation and channeling. I've said many times, I could have just shut my mouth and never said a single word. I didn't, in a sense of, had the need to tell you how to live, how to be, and how I see the twin flame journey. No. But I also knew that it would be a crime. Crime from my side of not telling you that there's gonna come a day of light, there's gonna come a day of love, and there's gonna come the answers. And again, it comes down to the manifestation of manifesting your twin flame, manifesting that love, manifesting this connection. And I really, really say, those of you, I don't know if those of you who are listening there's in the last episode, we spoke about this a lot. The woman said to me, I'm a magnet now. I understand what you mean. It's such a gift. And I would put her, it's first out on Patreon with this workshop. I highly recommend to join the workshops live if you can. These are on Sundays, the next one on 27th of October. Because you get to see what others are struggling with and happening. And it's only on Patreon. I charge only $5.99, and maybe there's a VAT and maybe there's something like that. But that's all I charge. And I'm just going to say that the 27th of October, when we have an inner dance and light language session, sign up quickly because of the Zoom. You know, we have limitations how many people we can have. And normally these sessions on market, like in that sense, if you would look it around, inner dance starts from around $100 to $200 a session, because they are very, very powerful. So just to say that it's $5.99, it's affordable for you, I believe. If not, again, write to me and I say, listen, come. I'm not doing any of this in the sense of financial gain, or it's just the fact that in order for me to stay here and give you this energy, I need energy in return a little bit, as otherwise it can get quite complicated. And of course, every single energy, such as like, such as comment, such as subscription, such as telling something beautiful, such as sending me a hug, thinking of me, because I tell you something about this again. This is getting out of hand already. I'm with some of you so connected. And the moment I think of you, I see you have booked a session. I washed dishes another day and I was thinking of my dear friend. He came through me and I'm talking, I'm washing dishes, I'm talking, and I receive an email. And I say, his name starts with A, and I say, you'll not believe, I was just talking to you. So I'm just going to say that it's getting a little bit out of hand, which is beautiful. I'm very, very thankful. So now what will help to get rid of the shame and guilt? Of course, the shadow work. The shadow work of realizing, why am I talking to myself like this? And I want to add something here as well. Twin flame label doesn't mean that we are allowed to do whatever we want to do. So such as, oh, I'm a twin flame. I can go and, let's say, cheat on my partner, or I can be this, or I deserve this. That's how for the twin flames. Twin flame label, think of it, a bit of it. It's the most humble label you can ever have. It's like a label of secret that only those who feel the energy have it. But it's not vocalized. It's not there. Yeah? So it's something sacred. It's like actually in the sense of the name of God, it's like sacred. We need to say it actually only when we feel the God. So just to say that it's not a label to walk around with and say, I am this and this is how it's going to be. This is how it's going to be, and this is what my right is, and that's what I'm going to get. It's an unconditional love. Unconditional love that awakened you, and now it's time to let go of the shame, guilt, and judgment. I know it's going to trick your ego. I know that. It made a lot of differences the way I see the world today. But here is something I would really recommend, is journaling and energy healing, of course. I don't I don't know what is the better medicine than energy healing. Whether it's a Reiki, breathwork, Kundalini. I did all of this. And I know you're listening to my podcast and you'll be like, oh, she seems so blissful. She's so happy. She has her twin and everything seems good. I went through hell. And I did not record at the time I went through hell. At the time I couldn't get up. At the time I couldn't connect. I didn't even know if I will see the light tomorrow. And all of that shame and guilt of loving someone I shouldn't be loving because the society says to me like that was killing me softly. And of course, it's a self-forgiveness and acceptance as well. We cannot, and I've repeated that many times, we cannot choose who we are going to love. And you need to accept that you love this person. And this person is you. I tell you, and I know it sounds, I repeat like a broken record, but the moment you accept this love, the moment you become one with this love, you are forgiving, you are letting go of all of this, and you will start manifesting everything else. And that's where also, when those of you who have read The Power of Now and all of that, it will only help you to, connect. And so when the disconnections from the self and from the twin flame, which means you have this, you are feeling bad that you are loving, let's say, someone else's husband or someone else's wife, or you are feeling bad that you are loving someone who is not returning, who is not giving you love back. The problem with shame and guilt is because you feel unworthy of this connection. You feel you don't deserve it. And that's going to be the disconnection from your own soul and from your twin flame, because you're one. And it's so true. And this is going to manifest doubts, fears, and that's why I say always a doubt. Twin flame doubt is very common. But the moment you accept, that's what we do often on the calls. We have a test way to see if you are on twin flame journey. And when your doubt gets confirmed, you get the liberation. There's so much liberation in that. But when you manifest doubts, fears, it can push your twin flame even away. Because you saying, I don't deserve this connection. I don't deserve this love. And as it's blocking the heart chakra, because we work a lot on the heart. We do on the workshops a lot on the heart. And obviously, I highly recommend, if you have the money this year, stop buying the coffees. Don't buy every day a $4 or $5 or maybe it's already $7 worth of coffee. Put this aside. And just have one energy activation a month, or have a session that's going to actually multiply your life. And for the twin flames, the heart chakra is so crucial, because it's the unconditional love is there. It's not in your mind. The unconditional love is not in the mind, and we need to stop living in the mind and connect with the heart. The heart tells you the truth, not the mind. I will talk about the mind also in the sense of what happens if the mind, let's say you've been told you will never have the love, it will never happen, this, how it's, and when you're going to feel something, how the mind tries to block it out. And when the shame and the guilt is in your heart, it blocks the ability to give and receive love freely, and preventing the flow in between you. That's why you can have a difficult times to meditate, you can have difficult times to connect, difficult to know anything. And this can lead to misunderstanding, distance, all of that. But I also just want to say here one of the things. We cannot rush this process. And that's why becoming your higher self is crucial over here. It's so crucial. It's not about them and as an ego. It's about you and oneness. And when we have a judgment towards yourself, when you judge yourself, it can create the feeling of separation even bigger and harder to receive the union. As twin flames, they mirror each other's wounds. And when you hold on to the judgment, it only amplifies in between you. There is no truth in between you. And so that's why it's not a good, number one, to lie to yourself that you don't love this person. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You feel deeply connected to this person. Number two, to accept that you are on a twin flame journey, or whether it's a quantum couple, quantum entanglement, quantum journey, you name it. Put whichever label for this connection. You need to accept that you have that strong connection. You need to accept that you're feeling something so strong within you. And then stop blaming yourself if that you love somebody who doesn't love you back at this moment, for example, or never loved you back. But they awakened you. They're the biggest gift. They're the biggest love. They're the biggest connection in your life. Like I always say, your twin flame is your best life coach. They're going to drag you to the place where you need to. And never give up on this love. Because the moment you start disconnecting from this love, you start hurting yourself. Because you're disconnecting from the source of unconditional love. You're going into the mind of trying to convince you, no, I don't love this person. No, this is not real. This person will never return. So why do I love this person? I should stop loving this person. And then everything else around you is not real. And you love this person. So choose the unconditional love. There is no right and wrong in unconditional love, but don't have expectations. Expectations are not unconditional. When we put the expectations, it's conditional. When I want somebody to love me, it's conditional. Love is free. Unconditional love is free. But let go of the rest. Anyways, that was quite a deep journey today into the shame, guilt, and judgment. Take this today with you and see why you're feeling this way and what you could do to let go of it. Here are just a few things I go through again. On 27th of October, we will have an inner dance session online again. It's the last session before our Cyprus retreat. So I highly, highly recommend you to sign it up on Patreon if you wish, or you can buy the tickets online on the website. All of the links are here in the description, so you can join. We have on the second session, Naomi from Sweden joining us for the light language session. So if you have never had a light language, come and discover this one as well. I just want to say that I said to Naomi to come on a podcast, and I said, well, my podcast is about twin flames, so I don't know how much related to you are for this, but we can talk about also spiritual journey. And interestingly, she said, wow, I'm a twin flame too. I went through a 9 months of very hectic period, and now I'm writing a book about it. So again, we attract of what our energy is. I never met Naomi in that sense. I did her energy activation session, because I do at least once a week energy activation, Kundalini in that sense. I do breath work once a week. I do Reiki once a week. And of course, as you know, I meditate quite a lot. So that's why my response times are terrible. As it's just for me, in order to deliver love and light to you, I need to stay balanced. I also actually just came through me today. I know that many of you are struggling financially sometimes, and I was wondering that maybe I will do smaller group sessions, let's say 3 to 5 people in a session, that you could share talk and we can do the energy activation along the side. That will help you to liberate, and that will be either weekly or then once a month. But if any of you have the interest, please drop me a line. I could do so. For the Costa Rica retreat, I see we are 28 people signed up via form. We haven't received all the payments yet, and so that's why I say your spot is secured once we have received your payment. Please do not stay into the last moment. I will send out a reminder email. We can only have 16 to 18 people. The house is amazing. I'm going to send you out the location and how it looks like. Costa Rica retreat will happen in February 2025, and please sign up for it as soon as you can. And then the next thing is that if you wish to have any of these sessions and you felt connected and you felt that you need that, please twinflameawakeningjourney.com, more than welcome, or join us for the live sessions, or whichever. I'm just going to say I'm here in sense of open to give what I can give, because I know you deserve it. I know that you are alive and light. Lots of love and lots of light, and see you until the next time.
To make the same mistakes, to be part of something real. We walk, stay and talk, suffer love I have to steal. With blinking eyes through a bad disguise, we move on to be a appeal. And the times are changing fast.